3 women are struggling with homelessness and poor mental health, but they're receiving help from a local organization.
Ex-gangsters keep kids away from violence.
The boys and their boats. The Sealers of Golden Gate Park.
Hello, welcome to Inbox. I'm your host, Vivian Jin.
Good evening, I'm Danny Wan.
Hi, I'm Eric Medina. Today's show is a very special one. From being homeless and dealing with a mental health issue, to an organization that keeps young teens off the streets, and to a group of youthful men who enjoy the little things in life. These 3 stories are about hope, guidance, and happiness.
Yes, and at San Francisco's United Playaz, they say it takes a hood to save the hood. We'll introduce you the former convicts who now save young people from life lost to crime and prison.
And I will introduce you to Chris the Sealer, who explained how running a motor yacht club is helping him bring a great deal of joy to everyone else who sells by.
For our first story, we will meet 3 women who each had to deal with the struggle of homelessness, anxiety, and depression. 1 in 6 adults in California deal with a mental health issue, and though it's usually seen negatively, what we learn from these women will hopefully change how we look at mental health. Star Sandoval, a single mother who dealt with fear and anxiety after becoming homeless. Ashley Emerson, 24, a single mother of 6-year-old twin boys who dealt with severe depression during pregnancy. And Julianne Giacoboni, who suffered from severe post-trauma after becoming homeless. In the Mission District of San Francisco, on the corner of 18th and Potrero, is the Homeless Prenatal Program. From prenatal care to job and house searching to therapy and child care, the Homeless Prenatal Program is an organization that provides a comprehensive range of services to women and their families.
One of the first things I did as soon as I got to the city was come to HPP.
Star had no job, nowhere to live, and she was struggling with being a first-time mom. She went days without eating and bathing. Life got so bad that Star said she had given up on humanity.
I was just very closed off. I didn't trust anyone. Being in that state of losing everything and just constant survival mode, it puts up a wall. And it's just a wall to protect you to make it through the next day.
Thank you. Sam Frank, a family case manager at HPP who specializes in mental health wellness, knows the importance of it.
Without mental health encompassed in a family service program, so much is overlooked because mental health is the fuel for so many aspects of functioning.
For Ashley Emerson, she began to notice problems with her mental health after she discovered she was pregnant with twin boys at the age of 18. When asked about the moment of discovery, Ashley said,
I cried for 2 days straight.
Ashley suffered with depression while pregnant with the twin boys. In fact, what she did while depressed cost her time in jail.
I had made a false report about rape. Didn't point anyone out, I just made up a person, and that was part of my depression when I was pregnant.
Ashley's false report went on for almost a year. By then, she was starting to believe it actually happened.
I didn't know that you could go to jail for a false report when I decided to tell the police that I lied about it.
Kelly Castillo, assistant program manager at Homeless Prenatal Program, has seen many women like Ashley come into HPP wanting a better life.
They really are motivated to, better themselves, better their lives, and, access the treatment that they haven't had before.
Since then, Ashley has been doing just fine. But according to Ashley,
I don't like to say that I'm doing good. For what I've been through and for what I am now, and to be a single mom of twin boys, and I have my village, but at the end of the day, their dad's not around.
As for Julianne Giacoboni, a mother and a wife, what seemed like the perfect life quickly fell apart after she and her husband moved to San Francisco.
That first week I got here, we lost our source of income and became homeless.
Then, what was already bad got worse. Julianne's husband, Seth, lost his job.
We had $2,000 between the two of us and nowhere to stay, and I was pregnant. So we had to figure out, really quickly what we were going to do.
Julianne and Seth lived in a hotel for 3 months until their names were selected from the wait list to live in a shelter.
When things kind of fall apart just a little bit now, they affect me so deeply because there's trauma, surrounding the experience.
But with the right resources, other women like Ashley, Star, and Julianne are able to change for the better. HPP has many prenatal classes to choose from, such as sewing and prenatal massage. As for Julianne,
things are getting better, slowly but surely. Life is really busy now. Having an 18-month-old is very busy. Being a full-time student, things are really busy.
And for Star,
Within the next 2 months, I will have a home. I feel it. I know it. And I'll have full-time employment. And I do envision that my experience was not in vain and that I will be able to be of service to other women who have been in my experience.
Either you're going to start good and then you'll fall later. I personally rather fall in the beginning.
and it was an experience none of them will ever forget. For Ashley, Star, and Julianne, their journey toward a better life continues, and they aren't going through it alone.
This story proves that there are always some people who are willing to help one another.
Definitely, and HPP offers a wide range of services. All three women and their families are doing better than before. Not only can the homeless get the necessary service, but anyone who needs help can go to this facility.
It's really a heartwarming story, isn't it? Coming up next, Marina Wang brings us a story about an organization that devotes itself to saving kids from becoming the next criminals of our society.
Ex-gangsters keep kids away from violence in one of the roughest neighborhoods in San Francisco.
Welcome back. In San Francisco's heavily Latino Soma neighborhood, the crime rate, especially for teens, is a serious problem. An organization called United Playaz is working there to change that.
That's true. Bullies have shattered families and torn communities apart in San Francisco. Crime and violence is robbing the youth of their future. United Playaz, or UP, is on a mission to save these kids from the perils of violence.
We'll go higher.
For 21 years, Rudy Corpus has been saving young lives at his organization United Playaz.
Come here. Let's see him.
UP keeps kids and teenagers safe from violence, whether they are victims or perpetrators.
You guys ready? Let's go. Come on.
Salvador Villalobos was one of them. He is now working at United Playaz, helping with one of the organization's programs that involves children.
When I first called my first case when I was 16, Rudy asked if I can be your case manager. I said, yeah, whatever, it's a free ride to juvenile hall.
Sal's unruly behavior did not stop there. He wanted to run the streets and was battling 3 drug cases by the time he was 18. He began working at UP to show the judges that he was doing something with his life.
Going upstairs to do some homework. It took me like about a year later for my mind to get into the field what I'm doing and what I'm working about youth development and helping the kids out of my neighborhood. So now my heart and my mind into it now.
Case managers at United Playaz like Rico Remedio reach out to teenagers who might need help. Rico was behind bars at San Quentin, serving as 25 years for being an accessory to a murder. This was when he first met Rudy, who was bringing high-risk teenagers to a program that the prison provided.
He said, man, you know what, I need you out there and help, save the kids in our community, because they're off the hook and, they need a role model who's, been there, done that, and that really cares about, the community.
Rico works with kids at risk of becoming part of the juvenile system. Most have no relationships with their parents.
I had no guidance, my father got killed in the streets, so I had no guidance. I looked at the older kids on my neighborhood as, brothers and sisters.
The biggest challenge is that I have no total control of the kids, They say one thing and they do another. They say they need help, and when help is right there, you can't get them really take advantage of the help that's available out.
Hi. Okay, now about me. Wow.
Rico says that there are gratifying moments that make the challenge of reaching out to these kids worth it.
The biggest joy is like, here's the kid now, 18, young adult. He's out here, free, not incarcerated, not paralyzed because of the bullet, and going to school, trying to get their high school diploma, or has a job providing for their kids.
United Playaz is all about second chances and creating a safe community for future generations. The father of UP, Rudy Corpus, knows how damaging violence is.
Rudy is an ex-gang member who ran the streets of Soma. He has dodged bullets, served time behind bars, and fallen into self-destructive behavior before he built this organization.
Their struggle is the same as my struggle. And so that's me 15, 20 years ago. And so I can relate better.
Rudy wants to give these kids what they didn't feel growing up. The feeling of being loved.
And so all it takes is one person, one little person. It could be my daughter saying one little word to somebody, I love you, that could change somebody's life, that could just blossom into something beautiful.
Rudy does his best to get through to every kid that walks through the door of United Playaz.
So the battle is not outside, it's inside. You dig what I'm saying? And so if we could get that inside.
But still some kids fall victim to the violence and temptations of the streets. Some will kill, others will be killed themselves.
There are a lot of kids who I have worked with here who I have told them the choices to make about the things that are in the world, but they continue to do it. Now, some of them got killed, some of them are in prison for life and never come home.
That's Rudy over 20 years ago. And this is Rudy today, focusing on kids and preventing them from following in his footsteps.
There's some badass kids out there making bad choices because I find myself going in circles with them. The good kids, some of them are on point. They know what they need to do. They got all the resources. I want to deal with the prevention ones in the middle who are steering to that way.
Ray Balbaran is Rudy's mentor and UP's longtime consultant. Ray believes that the organization is a good medicine for the people and that the community could suffer without it.
It fights for the community. It's a voice for the community. The people that work here are from this community. They live around here. Their families live around here. So it elevates the community to another standards.
Everywhere we go, people want to know, people want to know.
We're stronger as a community and we do better when we work together. And to me, it starts with the love. And it goes back to, the love of, in order for you to change the world, you got to change you first.
At United Playaz, they believe that the best person to change the world is someone who lives it every day. They say it takes the hood to save the hood.
Our society always needs a person like Rudy to care and do something for it.
From party to crime, to finding what you love to do, we will introduce you a man who enjoys his life with Yacht.
Stay with Inbox. We'll come back soon.
To meet the man who manages one of San Francisco's most competitive sailing regattas. And you won't believe where it happens.
Golden Gate Park is one of the most famous places for people to enjoy nature and relax in San Francisco. Next to the Sparkles Lake in the park, there is a special club that attracts lots of people every year. At San Francisco's Model Yacht Club, most members are men who are still boys at heart.
San Francisco Model Yacht Club is most likely the best facility of its kind in the United States.
Founded in 1898, the Model Yacht Club has 180 members.
And there are many other clubs, but no one that I know of has a facility that we have.
The Model Yacht Club is more than a place to sell boats. Members call it a second home.
I've been a member of the San Francisco Model Yacht Club since 1998.
David loves to build and race his own boats. He built his first boat when he was 10 years old.
It was a little tiny boat like this, and I built it in my mother's kitchen. So I've been interested in boats most of my whole life.
Boats are his passion, even the tiny ones that he sells in San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
And when I was busy working, I used to come down here and watch everybody play with the power boats and the sailboats, and it's really fascinating.
Now, as his Commodore, David Sands manages the club, organizing his members and supervising their competitions.
We have races from spring to fall, almost every other day, and especially on the weekends.
And he knows every one of the 100 boats here.
So about us, what is X20?
That's the number of his sail. See, they all have a number. This is 77. He's just telling people that this is number 28, but he doesn't have the big sail on yet. And the lake was built first, and it's just for model boating. And then as they progressed, they built this building for the establish a club here.
He is enthusiastic to passing the joy of boating along to everyone.
Sometimes different people, different boats, different races, but it's been this way for 100 years or more. My dream right now is just keep going.
They say the best sailor knows every detail of his boats. Each one of his boats is a treasure to him. David can spend half a year to repair his boats, even the ones that cannot be used anymore.
This part holds the deck on. In a wood boat, these would be more important to keep because you would fasten the wood, but this is fiberglass, pretty strong.
The only thing he cares about is doing it right.
So these are called frames, and they I'm going to be fastening the deck down all these places. Glue it and maybe put some screws in, I don't know yet. So that, and then trimming everything off and like that.
All of his efforts are worth it when David's boats win race.
The best thing is the racing, because that's a more fun, a competition, and winning, of course, is really. And then sometimes if you win the championship, you get your name up on the board in the club. So it's fun. It's real fun.
And he has been following his passion ever since he was a boy, and remains one at heart today.
Well, I think my boating life is one of the best things I've ever done, and I've been able to enjoy it with my family, not just alone. So that's been a great thing for me.
David is 80 years old, but that doesn't stop him from pursuing his passion for boating.
And it's all set up. We're ready to sail.
That concludes our third and final story. Stay with us. We'll be back soon.
Thank you for joining today's Inbox. Hope you enjoy the stories we prepared for you.
And if you want more information on HPP, here is the contact information.
And if you need any help from UP or you are willing to work with the team, here are some ways to contact UP or their case manager, Rico.
Want to join the Yacht Club? You can get their information here.
I'm Vivian Jing.
I'm Danny Wan.
And I'm Eric Medina.
Goodbye.